Welcome to our Bursa Secrets show. So today we actually have with us the managing director from Mykris, Mr. Chiu, to be sharing with us here what is this company all about, right? What's the business potential, what's the future plan, and what's the background. So for your information, Mykris is now a listed company in the lead market. Recently, there has been some news and guidelines saying that, lead market companies have a potential to be listed on ACE market if they fulfill a certain criteria, and the guideline will soon be published in probably early next year. So I think it's a good opportunity for us to, while they're still in the lead market, maybe not that many people come and grab his time and attention first. We get his attention first, and he can share with us what is Mykris all about. And if you like the company, you can put it in your watch list. If you are able, if you're an accredited investor, you can even invest now if you like. But if you can't, you can wait for the time when they go to ACE market. You're already well prepared to look at the share and see whether you should invest in them. Now, before I go on, I'll invite Yap Singh to share a little bit about what today's presentation is going to be all about. Hi, Yap Singh.
Hi, thank you very much, Ming-Tek, for offers us, the Mykris International, a company listed on lead market of Bursa Malaysia since October 2018 until today. Good evening, everyone. This lead market company, from the day it was listed at about IPO price of 20 cents, today the market price is close to about more than 60 cents, say about 63. Those investors who have been followed through and invested in this company since the IPO day, they will have made at least 200 to 300% return if we do include the dividend paid by the company. With the potential of this company, the company is aimed, if possible, if any listing guideline to transfer from the lead market into the ACE market, the company is always standby and to make that application. Today with me, we have the Group Managing Director, Mr. Chiu Chu-sun. He is the founder of the Mykris Group of Company. He also joined in with the other co-founder who built out this business since many years ago to become today. In the business of today, we will share with you a couple of the slides and the financial performance of the company. After that, half an hour, we open the floor for Q&A. We encourage all of you to ask as many questions as possible. You can post your question in the Facebook. Ming-Tek will pick it out from there.
Yep.
This
company,
can
everybody,
Ming-Tek
share with the audience.
This company.
Hi, Mr. Chiu.
All right.
You continue. Yeah.
Okay. First of all, I think we'd like to thank Ming-Tek and Yap Singh for the introduction. And dear ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Okay. Thanks for the opportunity and thanks for the time for the sharing session. Frankly, this is the first time that that I do this kind of briefing in front of the notebook. It's a new normal. Then talk to audience, but the audience is actually at the remote side, and which we don't see your expression. We don't know who are you. Okay, but nevertheless, I think we have to accept that because of the pandemic, and you look at it, internet service is getting it's so essential and so important. And I would put it this way: today, no business can live without internet. Okay. That bring me to introducing who is Mykris and really what we are doing. All right. Now, without further ado, I would like to share some slides. Okay. Right. I believe that you are seeing the slides right now. Okay. Now, in a nutshell, I put in the very layman. Hey, what is Mykris doing? Of course, I have not heard of Mykris at all. But strange enough, just to share with you, Mykris has been around for almost 20 years. I think, 20 years, but I never heard of you. What you're doing? Okay, you see, because the service that we are providing, no doubt is a broadband. Okay, to put it in the very layman, it's a broadband. But the broadband that we are providing is not like Telecom, Unify, or Time.com broadband, where it is for residential, where it's for the household. Sorry, we are not. In fact, the broadband service that we are providing, since day one, we've been very focused, on the corporate market, the enterprise market only. Okay, so basically, you look at it today, all businesses, whatever that you do, you like it or not, I would dare to challenge this way. Yeah, today, it's suddenly today your office or your company, suddenly the internet service is interrupted. I bet you a lot of people in the office will end up that they don't know what to do because of no internet. And today, our communication, or even you look at all the services, applications that you do, especially so that if you are in the e-transaction, whether it's an e-commerce or things like that, the dependency on the internet actually is getting more and more important. And of course, with the new normal, and people are talking about, hey, today you want to meet, sorry, no more face-to-face meeting, okay? It's all through Zoom, things like that. So that basically will give you an overview about what Mykris is doing. But of course, that I would say that what in the past that we've been doing until today, we're still doing it. But of course, later on through the slide, I'm going to share with you what we are going to do for the future as well, okay? Now, our mission, if you read that mission tagline, okay, is empowering corporate network security and business intelligence by providing quality digital services. They say, wow, what is this? It sounds as though it's like all the actually the jargon words are there. Now, in a very layman, okay, you just look at this network security. What we are providing is the network. But of course, network in here, I'm not referring to your office Wi-Fi network or even the LAN network. I'm referring to the internet and intranet network. And the security, I'm referring to the cyber security, okay? And next, you should pay attention to is the business intelligence. Now, what does it mean? The business intelligence is part of the big data analysis. Hey, you want to know that if especially, if your company they subscribe to a premium service where you are paying maybe tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands, or even millions every year, hey, you would like to know how these resources can help in your business, right? Okay, so from our tagline, clearly that actually, you later on when I expand it, you will see that actually it covers the whatever the past until now that we are doing, and it also help you to understand a little bit about the future, what we are going to into, okay? And Mykris International Bhd is the holding company, and we make our first debut on the Busan, Malaysia, actually on the 4th October 2018. All right. So you look at it, if Mykris, this company has been around for 20 years, that means to say that, by the way, I believe that not that many companies actually, can sustain and really survive for 20 years. Not that many. Definitely, we have our strength and also our niche. All right. So you look at it now. The picture that you are seeing, in fact, is our new corporate office that we just moved in towards the end of 2018. We've been there for almost 2 years in Bukit Jalil. And for your information, we are the first internet service provider that's certified with ISO 20000. Again, hey, look at it. Oh, very technical term. Oh, what is this actually? ISO 20000. Okay. In a nutshell, it's very simple. Of course, internet service that everybody knows actually, they're talking about the service, how to allow you to connect to the world. That's why you call it WWW. Is an abbreviation for World Wide Web. Okay. But hey, you're in Malaysia. Assuming that you want to access the content or application or services in overseas, somebody need to help you to connect and bring whatever the data and contents and services back to you. So that provider, actually, we generally term them as an internet service provider. Now, the ISO is one of the standard. Because why? Why we claim ourselves actually as the first internet service provider that we certified with ISO 20000? Because we emphasize a lot on the quality that we are providing. Now, from what I have briefly described just now, then probably that you can come to realize that, oh, okay, Mykris actually is a B2B business. Meaning that what we are doing is business to business, not business to consumer. And that's why if you compare to other business actually like Maybank, because actually it's really, they are talking about mass market, talking about residential, and many people actually come to know them. But for Mykris, we've been very focused into corporates only. So because of the B2B and the quality of the service is important. So the ISO 20000, basically in the nutshell, is very simple, is a standard that ensure that we are able to deliver a consistent service in good quality. And they also provide actually a continual count improvement, okay? And the second thing actually is worthwhile to mention here is, of course, that we have been doing good actually in our employer branding, that we won some accolades actually, that being the best Asia best companies to work in Malaysia. And we are also the first internet providers that won 3 awards in the 10th year of the SOBAR Anniversary Awards in the 2019. Now, apart from that, of course, being the internet service provider, you need to have something called a license, okay? And in Malaysia, okay, by the way, anything that you do, you need license, okay? Same goes actually, this internet service provider, we are also as licensees actually under this MCMC. And we have 3 different licenses in order for us to provide and operate the service. Okay, next. Then really, what makes us so different compared to the incumbent telco like Telecom, Time Telecom, and everybody else? Now, I will tell you that actually, the reason why even after 20 years, we are still growing and we are still in the way, expanding, is because that we are probably the only one in Malaysia actually has been able to build a big scale of the corporate wireless network. Now, that wireless network is something very similar to the massive 4G, 5G network. But the only difference actually is this is something built specifically for corporate network only. So the wireless network is something that we own, we build, we own, and we manage, we operate. But at the same time, we are also working with some incumbent telcos like Telecom, Time.com, Message, and many others, to leverage on their fiber. Okay, so with that two together, we combine and we claim ourselves to be a hybrid network solution provider. And this is something that in the corporate, as far as the corporate that segment, the market is concerned, Mykris probably is the only one that actually really pioneer and spearhead in that. Okay, so our principal activities is really talking about provision of the managed network services. Now, let me emphasize, we do manage network services. We don't do just like a broadband provider. We connect, and you know what happened if for those that you subscribe to the internet services from Telecom or from Time.com or from anybody else, what you normally experience is the installer come to your doorstep, open your house, they will pull the fiber, they get anything connected, they set up the router, they prove to you that actually, you see, you can go internet, you can go surfing, you can watch YouTube already, can do everything already. That's it. But Mykris, we are doing something much more than that. Well, what does it mean? Now, you see, because all those Telecom, Unify, the broadband, Time.com program, they are referred to as best effort broadband service. Best effort means it's cheap, it's shared, service no good, don't complain, because or you can complain, but you don't get a dedicated kind of service and attention. However, when you come to the corporate network, it's different because they need something that very consistent in terms of the quality and performance. So definitely they need someone to actually help them to manage. Give you an example. It's just like I'm helping the customer to build a 5-lane or 3-lane highway. Okay, the highway is an internet highway. Okay, that allows all the data traffic to flow through, and then they can go everywhere they want, through the World Wide Web. Okay, so a lot of times customers may not know what happened to that 3 lanes. hey, how many cars actually, travel and even making use of the highway, within the daytime or even the morning time. When you talk about manage, we really help them to even to tell them that, hey, look here, at one time, if you recall, at our highway here, actually, in the Plus Highway, they don't allow the lorry, okay, to use the highway, after, let's say, 9 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock in the morning, just to avoid the jam. Now, this is what we do. We help customer to manage their network, to manage the data. And that highway we built for them. Of course, they pay toll and I'm the toll collector, okay, by the way. So when the traffic going through us, then at least we can tell them the report. Okay, Mr. Customer, look here. Today, you have about 4,000 of the cars traveling here. Then you have a lorry. Then you have actually the buses. Then you have all this motorcycle. Then I can also tell them that, oh, okay, by the way, how many % of the traffic actually make an exit at Penang, make an exit actually at London. Okay, on all these things actually is part of the managed services. Okay, so the key industries that actually we are serving for the past, actually mainly we are talking about education, retail and distribution, manufacturing, finance, hospitality, and tourism. Okay, I just like to spend a couple of minutes to tell you that actually, and to share with you what's so different about the service that we're providing for that respective actually industry. Now, I give you the example actually, the talk about, okay, the one that badly hit right now, hospitality and tourism. Now, we have, in the past, actually, we have been servicing really, a lot of 5-star hotel. Now, today, if you subscribe to actually the incumbent telco service, sorry, even though you use or you don't use, then sorry, you have to pay. That is a fixed recurring charges, that you have to pay on the monthly basis. But however, when it comes to Mykris case, then we are able to customize a package and maybe put it in something on demand. If you don't have a lot of actually, hotel guests and occupancy is low, you pay low lah, pay per use, on demand. Okay, and this is something that actually, I would say that the traditional telcos may have difficulty to meet the kind of requirements on the flexibility, but we are providing that. And we are providing a turnkey solution for them. And we are being flexible in customizing our service and products to meet their demand. Okay. And then just to share with you on the education part, you see, we have one customer in the education, very interesting. They have campuses actually around Malaysia. Okay. And in the past, actually, that for instance, they have a campus in Nilai, they have to subscribe 100 meg, maybe in Kuching, in East Malaysia, they have subscribed another 50 meg, and in Penang, they have subscribed 200 meg. And at the end of the day, that is a fixed kind of actually, recurring cost that they have to pay. But when it comes to us, we help them to actually create a pool. Then you say that, never mind, whatever it is actually, the pool is there for you to share. So with the pool sharing, it actually allows them actually to have cost effectiveness in this kind of actually, environment. And thus, when it comes to resources, they are able to make a full use of it. Okay. So this is just a very simple example. Of course, because it's a B2B, a lot of times actually to the end user, you will not be able to see the benefits of it, But in end of the day, it's very simple. To summarize that, whatever we are doing, we are helping customers actually to achieve the cost efficiency and to make sure that the performance, to make sure that the quality and the consistency with the service level guarantee. Okay, so these are our principal activities. Now, next. Now, I would like to tell you that this is what we've been doing in the past 20 years. Moving forward, we have to also innovate a bit, and then moving forward, we need to look at actually what is the future, and really that when it comes to B2B, what are the services that customer really need? Okay, so we come up with something called Mykris 360. By the way, this 360, I think the only thing that actually comes to very close to this 360 is 360 degree. That means it's all rounded. So we call it actually our service actually as a Mykris 360. We're trying to cover from all angles. And today, there are 3 pillars actually in this inclusion service. One is a managed hybrid network, which I have explained just now. And the other one is something called a managed security. Now, at the very beginning, I shared with you, I said that Today, I doubt so that any business can operate and survive if without any internet. Okay? Then, not only for that, today or even tomorrow, I will tell you that no online businesses can live without cyber security protection. That lead us actually to kind of actually develop into these managed security services. And then last but not least, we have these insight services that give you the visibility of the resources and help you to make the right business decision. Okay, so basically these are the three pillars that I would like to actually briefly share. Again, you look at it, it's a little bit technical, but nevertheless, I think that in a nutshell, remember from the very first slides I explained, the mission is talking about empowering corporate network security and business intelligence. It's all in here. So we have managed hybrid net, we have managed security, and we have also business intelligence, which is the insight services. Okay, so very briefly, I think sorry if I appear to be a little bit more technical to some of you here, but let me share. Managed hybrid net, we are talking about zero downtime. All right. Now, then if some of you actually, the audience actually, if you happen to have the business that running online, real time, and any single downtime actually will cost you a lot of money, or even will cause actually will jeopardize your corporate image. This is what you need. Then, of course, actually, when we talk about zero downtime, we are talking about actually by providing the wired and wireless connectivity. We always term it the best of both worlds. All right. So that will give you the flexibility and the burstable bandwidth. Okay. So at the very high level, in the very layman, you need to know actually is this to guarantee you that it's 100% up. That means that in no way your service actually going to be kind of actually consistent and will be up all the time. So this is managed hybrid net. So the insight services will tell you actually give you all the reports, the visibility of the utilization. At least you know where you spend your money. At least hey, suddenly we found that we give you a report. Okay, the most popular website that your staff actually have visited. You don't want to see that. Hey, why there's something actually the XXX actually site they don't know that people go to. Okay, and at least you get to understand the behavior and also the pattern of the traffic and the behavior of the usage, from your users. That at least it gives you a better picture and it helps you to make the right choice the next time when you want to spend your money. Where should you spend your money? Okay, so this is very in brief at the very high level. This is what the insight services are all about. Okay, next we come to managed security. Now, if I'm not mistaken, sometimes actually last year, even early this year, and you know what? A lot of times actually, even until lately, there's some customer come back to us, they cannot spam mail, or cannot actually, in the way that they ransomware. Again, all these things are part of the threat when it comes to cyber security. And even some actually website actually, has been kind of denial of the service. Actually, they call it the kena DDoS attack. Now, if you are running a business and heavily depend on the internet, sorry, I'll tell you this, you cannot afford to have your services unprotected. So apart from having to have the internet services, now there's one more component called security. The cyber security today, if you ask me, in US, in Europe, it is so important. And by default, it's actually one of the KPI that a lot of CTO or CEO will carry and make sure that no data breach, and make sure that they protect against the DDoS, and make sure that no ransomware and all these things. So end of the day, this is to make sure that you will not suffer any losses. But of course, this security, it is just like you having a guided and gated community, and then you have a guard house, a guard there to patrol. But does it guarantee you 100% that actually you will be free from all these threats? Sorry, I'll tell you honestly, and no company or no solutions that can be 100%. The only thing actually is we all say that precaution actually, even actually prevention is always better than curing. So the managed security is some form of the prevention that we are helping customers to protect their network against the cyber threats. All right. So in summary, when you look at the three pillars that I mentioned from the hybrid net, for talking about security, talking about business intelligence, which is the insight. So this if we summarize that with the 5 icons, then you can see that in fact these are the benefits that the customers can enjoy. All right. Okay. So just to share a bit with you, actually, who are our customers? Now, of course, Mykris has been around for almost like 20 years, and yeah, in fact, there's one more important thing that I want to share with you. A lot of times, actually, we come across, some potential clients that come to us. Hey, we need a service, something that, like Unify or time broadband, whether are you providing or not. Frankly, the service that we are providing is more a premium service. Now, premium because the customer really needs something good to support their operation and their business. They are running something live, online, real time, which they cannot afford any downtime. Any downtime will cost them money. Okay, so that's why you look at here, that then we can see that actually, from our clientele, that all these companies actually, the 360 meaning to say that they subscribe from us not only the internet but also the cybersecurity. Then okay, you may be wondering, only why big name? The small name, they don't need that kind of service, man. No, that's why I said I keep emphasizing that if the internet is so important to your business, that's where you should invest or spend your money to protect and make sure you have a reliable connectivity. So you can see that actually all these clients we mentioned here, the internet is really part of their strategy, and they want to make sure that, and whatever there is, actually, the service is always at the tip top, and it's a really, a premium service they're getting. All right. And this is a clientele actually we have for our security. That means to say they come to us, it's either that they want us to help them to protect, and then even help us to do the analysis and how secure is the network, and then loophole that the hacker might potentially breach in or not, and then cause a data breach or data loss, things like that. So we have actually quite a number of the security clientele as well. Okay, so in the public sector, not only that actually we are talking about the private sector. Now, of course, I would just to share with you, I think of all the customers, almost like 80-90% is still from the private sector. Public sector actually is something that just recent years we started to venture into, and we have actually quite a number of the public sector customers as well. Okay, so these are the accolades that actually we have received over the years, just a little bit here and there. Okay, so I think that's why I think I would like to leave it to the Q&A. Hopefully that that I will be able to share a lot more with you all about if you do have any questions towards the Q&A session. But in a nutshell, look at it in the very layman. This is what I've been doing. The company has been doing for the past 20 years. Okay, and of course I think that the balance, the remaining, I would like to call upon Yap Singh to share with you the number part of it. All right. Yap Singh, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chu. We'll give Yap Singh a few moments to prepare his slide, but I think we can open up for a short Q&A, Mr. Chu, before Yap Singh continue.
The slide's ready. Are you able to hear me?
Yep. I can hear you. You would like to start now, Yap Singh?
Okay. Good evening. On behalf of the Mykris International, I brief you through some very simple number about this company. Just now, Mr. Chu shared with everyone, with the arrival of the
Yap Singh?
in the early days.
Yap Singh? Is it my line?
Online. There is what? E-learning.
I think Yap Singh is off. Okay, while waiting for Yap Singh to come back, are
you able to hear me now?
Yeah, now I'm able to hear. Just now, can you start over again? Because when you start, it's already breaking up. Yeah.
Okay, I try to start over again. the usage of the internet, it become very relevant nowadays in our daily life. Therefore, in the event you break, you let me know. Therefore, for this Mykris International, ever seen the company listed on the stock exchange consistently, despite achieve small turnover like 35, 38 to 44 million every single year. But more importantly, I would highlight to you the majority of this business recurring income with very high gross profit margin, like close to 60%, profit after tax margin about 20%. For the more detail, you can read from the slide when Mintek share with you the slide you can extract from him. Subsequently, with that kind of good performance, this company able to consistently not only deliver a profit, but majority of it from recurring income. I will skip this one. Okay, you can see that the part of the business is a managed services, as explained by the Mr. Chiu. When we talk about managed services, basically they provide to B2B, like big organizations like LOI, Kenanga Investment Bank, KPMG. All these customers consistently had to subscribe to service. Therefore, he give a very consistent revenue to the company. Occasionally, some of the company will say, look, can you help me to set out the wireless network, set out all the backbone, everything? That's where he come on the project and product and services. It's more on project-driven basis. With that kind of good performance, I'll share with you the bulk of the profit on managed services, very high profit margin of 60%. For project was slightly lower. That is a brand margin of the company. Subsequently, I will share with you that these companies earn the money very cash generative. Therefore, when you study the current ratio of the company, ordinarily company about 1 times because of abandon of cash owned by the company. The current ratio is about 4 to 5 times. With the minimum debt the company have about 6 to 7 million. As the announced to the stock exchange, 30th September 2020, the company have a cash of 27 million. When you minus about 6 million loan, basically more on a term loan in relation to the building, and therefore the company stand in a net cash position of 21 million. With that kind of strong balance sheet, what could the company do? The company can capitalize on their strong operating cash flow. They will regularly pay out the dividend, where you can see that there's quite a substantial cash outflow from financing, because consistently they pay out the dividend on every year. Okay. For the financial year of 2020, they already pay a dividend 1 cent. Based on the share price at that time, you're talking about yields about 2.3%. When come to the same financial year of 2020, they pay another 1 cent of the second dividend. It work out the yield about 1.7%. Come to the next financial year, 31st March 2021, the company is just declared is going to pay a dividend 1.2 cents. Based on today's price was 63 cents, the yield is 1.9%. Basically, what we are trying to share with you that the payout ratio of this company is very high, about 40 to 50%. Let me go through the more detail. The company was listed on the LIM market with a number of share about close to 300 million. Initial IPO price about 20 cents. Today market price about 60 cents. 300 million multiple by 60 cents. The market cap of this company is about 180 million. When you take a look, every year, ever after the listing, financial year 2019, based on the profit of 6.8 million, they pay the dividend about 6 cents. That work out about payout ratio about 88%. The same apply also for the financial year of 2020, the payout ratio about 57%. For the first 6 months of financial year 2021, 3.6 million they're going to pay to all the shareholders. Divide by 5.2 million they generate for the first 6 months. The payout ratio is about close to 70%. What we're trying to share with everyone, like, if you are the investor with 20 cent IPO price, based on today's price 60 cents, you will have made 200% return. If you take in account the dividend they pay out, 3 plus 6 plus 6 plus 3.6, if you pay another one more dividend, going to about 6 cents in total, all in for the past 3 financial years, the shareholder will have received about 18 cents. Basically, we are trying to share with you, the share you get is almost a free share. 18 cent dividend you get back, compared with the cost of 20 cents. The utilization of capital, I will just give you a miss. Okay. For the shareholder profile, this company is co-owned by the two co-founder. The first one is Mr. Chiu with us today, the founder Kamendi, and he had another business partner. Mr. Chan is not with us today, the founder Kamendi. Collectively, they own close to about 87% of the company. The free float of the market is about 13%. On the first day when the company was listed, we had about less than 20 shareholders. Today, the number of shareholders have been grown to about 20 to 30 over shareholders. So it shows that there are people who keen and take a position in this company, despite it was listed on the lit market. I think I try to cut my presentation short and try to have more Q&A. Mintek, hand over back to you.
Okay, so guys, if you have any questions for Mr. Chiu, you can type them in at the comment section. For me, to be honest, looking at the financial and looking at the business model, I'm quite intrigued and I'm quite interested in your company, Mykris, especially looking at the past performance. It's just a shame that Mykris wasn't on my radar and I couldn't afford to invest when it was 20 cents. Actually, even looking at the financial now, at 60 cents, if you are an ACE listed company, I think there is still very interesting potential to look at. Looking at the return on equity, it's like 30-40%. It's like crazy, right? These are very quality number. Cash flow also good, but I have a few questions for you. I'll start from the business model, and slowly I'll work on into the financial. But guys, if you have any question for Mr. Chiu, right, please ask them at the comment section. Later, when people listed in ACE market, you want to invest, but you don't understand this, don't understand that, it's already too late, okay? Yeah, so I have a question regarding receivable. You know, when I look at the financial, your receivable, the receivable has been increasing in the past few years. Is that a normal part of the business? I mean, in the receivable is you usually get to collect it within 6 months, 1 year, and the next year receivable is a fresh receivable. Or is that something that has been building up for a long time?
No, in fact, you look at the receivables, we're able to maintain at a very good level, okay? Even though you see that, maybe a few million here and there, but now, frankly, one of the advantage of being a service provider is this. You notice or not, if you are the massive subscriber, second subscriber, when you don't pay, like in Telecom Unify, you don't pay 30 days, sorry, they interrupt your service, they cut your service. So, meaning to say that in this case, being a service provider, now of course, because we are talking about B2B, we normally will extend longer credit term to our customers. But one good point is that eventually they pay up, all right? And that's why you look at the better provision, that we have for every year is a very small number compared to our revenue. So in this case, that's why I say, frankly speaking, I think we have no worry that customer, they won't pay. Because today, as I said, the internet service is something that's so important and essential to everyone. And the only reasons that they don't pay is probably they close down the business. Then sorry, then we have to go on other means to recover the money. But if not, if they continue the business, they may delay the payment. But I think that at the end of the day, that we will still be able to collect the money, okay, and the payment.
I see. Mr. Chiu, you want to add on a little bit about the major customer over here? I already shared the slide here.
Yeah. So major customer, I think that's a very interesting question as well. Just I saw quite a lot of company, including In, which is one of the company that I used to invest in. So maybe you can share, do you have any major customer that contribute more than 10% of the revenue? And if yes,
no, we don't have any single client that contribute more than 10%. In fact, the distribution of the revenue for my key clients, they are pretty widespread. Okay, in the way, in the layman, we don't have all eggs in one basket. The reason for that is very simple. You look at it, because the customers that from the day one that they subscribe to our service, they grow. Okay, And of course, actually, then they grow, definitely they also subscribe more service. As a simple example, that they upgrade the bandwidth. They probably, when the business grow, like for instance, one of the top, glove manufacturer, happen to be my customers. So we can see that actually, when customer grow, and definitely the demand for service is always there. And that, that's why actually, we look at it, it's a pretty diversified, revenue base that we are talking about. Even the customers, they're not like actually, more than 10-20% actually contributed by one single industry. No, because the reason is very simple. Internet service is a must-to-have service nowadays. It doesn't matter whether you are in manufacturing, whether you are in the retail and distribution business, or in education. It really is span across. Now, the only thing that will make the difference is, of course, what they use it for. For instance, actually, we have a few car manufacturers. In fact, we have conquered and captured quite or say the market share for that. Actually, we have conquered quite a big share. Now, for them, today, if you're talking about all those European car company, when you go and service your car, no internet, sorry, you cannot service your car, because all the database actually is not in here. They are overseas, okay? And all this database and then the software updates that you need is really real-time access. So that's why today you look at it, this internet access is no longer for the customer to send email, looking for some web information. No, it's basically already come into their operation. So that's why when we go in, actually, the more that we build up the customer database, we come to understand better about their operation and really what they need. And then one of the key niche actually we have is we are able to customize the product and services tailored to their operation and business needs. Okay, so of the 5 key industry that I've shared, and of course, the clientele that we have shared with you, clearly it will show you that actually, those are really the big names. Okay, but of course, it doesn't mean that actually, the SME or SMI, they don't need that. As I said, as long as they are running the business, or the operation is so dependent on the internet services, you will not go for best effort. You definitely want something that is guaranteed the service level.
So I'm wondering, let's say if I'm a company like, for example, because I see there are some companies like Top Glove, for example, their business is making gloves, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm the boss, maybe you can share with me, what is the rationale for me to get such high level of internet service? Why I cannot just use Unify, or I know sometimes maybe it's not reliable, but we are making gloves. We are not like a data center or what. So can you maybe share with me the rationale? Is it because they want to monitor whether their employee is watching some kind of weird website?
Okay, today I think the website monitoring has been something that not that important anymore. But of course, all those big corporates, whether they are in plantation, whether they are in like glove manufacturing, the reason why they are able, they're willing to pay a premium price to get all this done now is because it's so important to their operation. When I say operation, it's not just for information searching on the World Wide Web, it's no longer that. We are talking about, if you are running the SAP, that the enterprise resource planning software, you want to know exactly your production cost. You want to know about your manufacturing production line productivity level. And all those things actually are being done only, through this kind of the ERP software or the SAP, and so that they are able to gather and also collect data on the real-time basis and know exactly what happened at the branch or even at the what they call the plant, that somewhere at the remote area. Of course, if you're talking about centralized, easy. I just go there, I call up, the manager, I will be able to get all these things. But when you come to the big data analysis, you need everything to be connected. More so when you talk about industrial relation 4.0, when you talk about IoT, Internet on things, when you want to connect and know every single thing that happened, whatever it is, then you need to have a good connectivity. And that is the reason why people like Top Growth or even the IOI Plantation, that they are willing to spend the money, because the data and the business, I would say that all these actually what they call the reports are important to their business. It's no longer that, just for communication, I send emails searching for some content. No more. Okay. And of course, if you are running e-commerce, if you're running e-transaction like a banking, suddenly you're doing a transaction. Hey, you are doing e-trading on the shares. Sorry, every downtime, it will cost you tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. So to them, more so that they cannot afford any service interruption. So today, move on. I can go on with many examples and the illustrations as actually why this guy, in a nutshell, that is very, you just summarize it. They need it because it's important to their business.
I can see why it's important, Eddie, because of the IoT trend, and also, especially when you mention share trading, I think many people here can agree, right? Like when you want to sell a share or buy a share urgently because of some news, and everybody log in at the same time or whatever, then app don't work, you can't execute order, etc. That may be really, really painful. So maybe Yap Sing, you have a follow-up question or things to share?
Just to simplify what Mr. Siu to share with everyone, you have to understand that as a business grow, they start open many branches. Example like DKH, they open many branches. Example of Glove, they have factory number 1, number 2, number 3, have until factory 50, 60. It's not all located in a single location. In the past, how do we collect the information? You had to rely on the technician, you had to rely on the supervisor, manually take down all the relevant information, example like the number of raw material, the number of the glove, the number of the output and the input. And by the time you disseminate and consolidate the headquarters, only the senior management can make an informed decision. But it could be too late because the raw material price may fluctuate, or probably the certain material is in a shortage in such a sudden circumstances. But by using the internet, what the Mykris try to help them is, you need to use the software to link out and send all the information to the headquarters, and the big boss at the headquarters and the big key director can make an instant decision, and better not only for headquarters but all over different branches, different factories at the same time. When Mr. Chiu talk about Internet of the Thing, you need to connect all the production line, all the physical machine to the software in order to transmit the information for the HQ to make a decision. That is what the value Mykris add to the example of manufacturing company. It's not, they are not helping them to produce the glove, but they're helping them to make a better decision by consolidate, gather, and combine all the information together, disseminate via the internet, and you need to have a very stable line. I hope that will try to improvise what Mr. Chiu shared with everyone. Min Teck, please go on.
Yep. So I think we have more time, so that's why I will dig deeper, because I'm really curious about the business. So just now you mentioned about IoT trend and industrial revolution 4.0. So from the recent growth, I see that your company has been having really very good revenue growth in the past couple of years. Could it be also driven a lot by this IoT? Because let's say 10 years ago, those endpoint connection to a centralized software, is it on the cloud, as in the software that you say, where each and every data point that they connect, they want to transmit the information to a certain software? Is that software in the cloud, most of it?
No, this is part of the solution called cloud computing. Of course, where the storage of the data, it could be local, it could be any data center, it could be on the cloud, which you do not know anywhere. Okay, it could be everywhere. But that one is basically is just the location, that one I think, that eventually, like you asked me actually, why actually our revenue has been able to grow, okay, over the last few years. Now, let me share with you. Then of course, later I'll come back to the IoT. Malaysia, if you look at the market for managed data, when I say managed data, I'm referring to a more premium broadband service, where you require a fiber lease line that not shared with anyone, okay, is not a best effort. That market alone, we are talking about really on average about 1.1, 1.2 billion is huge as far as we are concerned. So if we look at the revenue that we are having is about in less than 50 million, that means to say that the market is there and is big enough for us to actually to expand. All right. And we'll continue to offer our service and we'll continue to penetrate deeper into the market. Okay. When you talk about this managed data. Now, the IoT, when you talk about IoT, you talk about IR 4.0, then the next thing we'll talk about is just 5G. All right. And a lot of people don't understand actually, why IR 4.0, I need to talk about 5G. 4G cannot, man. Okay. And of course, IoT in Malaysia is still at its infant stage. And really, it's just the beginning. And where we apply the IoT most? Smart home. Okay. When you talk about, I want to have a remote sensor to switch on my aircon, switch on my lighting, or open the curtain, close the curtain, those are done by IoT sensor. All right. And normally, this kind of actually smart home appliances actually, nowadays in Malaysia, is either they're connecting through a Wi-Fi. But when you talking about autonomous driving, when you're talking about IR 4.0, it really talking about fully automated with robotic things like that. You need a very consistent and reliable connectivity. 4G, unfortunately, cannot 100% delivering that. They can't. So that's why when you talk about IoT, people always link it to 5G. So Malaysia, the only reason that we want to roll out the 5G at the pilot stage is really because that we want to help the factories actually to enter into this IR 4.0. So the market is there. The only thing right now actually because that we are not aiming at actually a residential market or even mass market, we are more focused into the corporate, and what we want to do actually is to help the company to really leverage on internet services, okay, to help them in expanding the business or even to help them to create the excellency in operation.
So definitely the factories that are targeting to do automation, all these will be your future target or is already currently your customer, and when they expand, you may be in their plan. That will be, if you look at the growth plan, that is what you have inside.
Yes.
5G, IoT in the factory automation, all this.
Correct. Now, of course, people might ask, hey, Mykris, do you deploy on 5G and deliver 5G? I say, sorry, I'm not the mobile operator. For your information, 5G, the spectrum will be only awarded to mobile operator, people like Mykris, Celcom, Digi, they all. Okay? People like us, actually, we are more on the license band, but we apply to the MCMC, but there is a separate spectrum when you compare to the 5G. But we are somebody called technology adopter, meaning that later stage we might be able to work with people like Mykris, and to leverage on their 5G infra and to deploy 5G and customize for our customers' environment. So definitely, when they come to that stage, you will see that the 5G actually will be widely available and also will be deployed, but more so for customers that will require high-speed connectivity, okay, and a very reliable connectivity. Then you will go for 5G. Else, I will tell you, 4G is good enough.
I see. So as you say, I'll ask one question, then later we move on to the competition, because it's a question from Mr. Ong. that the companies, right, the government is looking to roll out 5G primarily to help the factory, but looking at what they are doing, they are giving it to the mobile broadband companies first, the bandwidth. How does it translate into the factory immediately? Isn't it counterproductive?
Not really, because actually the one that really is capable of rolling out the 5G are those big mobile operators. They have the resources to roll out. And of course, if we look at the factory environment, then definitely they will kind of set up another 5G network coverage within the factory area, where those guys will be able to connect using the 5G. Of course, the 5G equipment is readily available now, whether from Huawei, from Sony, from Ericsson, or from all those guys is ready. So the only thing actually they need to think of actually is an application. What do they want to use the 5G for? Okay, if for the factories, then whether or not that they are embarking on the IR 4.0, if they are, 5G is the right connectivity for them. So that's why the government actually has been very emphasizing actually on helping our Malaysian manufacturers, to go into the IR 4.0 by helping them to roll out some 5G network prioritize for them first.
Okay, understand. Okay, so let's bring up this question from Ong. He's asking, how many competitor is there in the dedicated service provider, internet service provider, and what is Mykris market share? I remember you were saying it's about 100 something million, but now you're getting 70 million, so that's about 10%. But who are the others?
Okay, the market itself, I say, is actually about 1.1 to 1.2 billion.
Oh, billion. Wow, that's
billion.
Much bigger.
So today, we are hardly 5%. Okay? So it's like, you look at it, the market is big. But of course, if you're talking about really apple to apple comparison, I think the only closest competitor that we can name probably is people like Rickton. Okay? And of course, actually, they've been doing a lot of things, Then, of course, if you ask me, hey, which competitor that you meet most of the time in the market, then I will tell you, is an incumbent telco like Telecom and Thai.com. Okay? Because when we move up to the corporate level, and definitely the customers have a very, these requirements, to have a good service. And they want to have a very attentive and dedicated services from the supplier or even from provider. And that's why when we move up to that value chain, you see that not many players or competitors in that level. So strictly speaking, if you look at the hybrid model where wireless and wired come together, we are probably the only one or two in the market that are able to do that. Okay. But of course, you also heard lately that other mobile operators, they are also trying to do that. By the way, it's something very interesting coming up, that there will be a few more service providers coming up. But nevertheless, they are targeting more at residential and mass market. They are going to capture thousands of subscribers, things like that. So we are different in the sense that, we've been very focused into the corporate market only.
Mr. Chiu, can you please share with them that while you're competing with incumbent telecom like Telecom Malaysia, but you also work with them as they are the supplier to Mykris also, because in business world, they are complementary, can work together in a certain area by refer to the major supplier.
All right, I think let me share with you, give you a clear picture. If you're wondering actually, that I remember I used to tell people that the people at Telecom, I like them at the same time. So I also hate them so much, because of competition. You're talking about Telecom is they're playing a dual role in here. They are also my supplier and my biggest supplier, and they are also my biggest competitor. You say, hi, how come? One company can have a two identity, where is your supplier, but also your competitor. The reason is very simple. It's because of the structure, and because actually, from the day one they have been dealing direct with the enterprises. Okay, that's why they are in there in the direct market competing at the enterprise level. But on the other hand, you look at it. In being an incumbent telco, they have the biggest and the most complete fiber coverage in Malaysia. So today, if you want to make use of the fiber to deliver the service, I think you don't have that many choices, and then of course we are comfortable, and because we have been working with people like Telecom and Timecom for years. So people like them, the incumbent telcos, they have got two hats. One actually is being our supplier, a friendly party, where we work very closely with them. On the other hand, they also wear another hat as our competitor. Okay, they compete a lot with us. But of course, eventually to the customers, is they look at it, the price is one of the main factor. And the other thing actually is also talking about whether service, the solutions. And so I say that by providing quality digital services and solutions.
I see. So if you are talking like that in terms of the competitive environment, in a way, if Telecom, maybe, when you are saying the managed service, cybersecurity, they do not add so much value, but since they are the supplier as well, they can technically, if they want to, they can like throw the price and make it.
Sure.
But they are not doing that, right?
No, not really. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So
okay.
Yeah. So your way to compete is to give better service by adding value on top of the internet connection.
Yeah, exactly. We value add and we customize our product and services. Very simple. Because if you're talking about for the enterprise and corporate customer, their requirement is not as simple as actually, I want to subscribe 100 meg of the line. Give me 100 meg. No. Today, we are talking about really, how we provide a multi-point branches of connectivity, how to help them to cut costs and have the most cost-effective connectivity. And not only that, then how to ensure that actually, the performance actually and the reliability is at the top. So when we look at that, then it's a lot of things actually being integrated together. So people like us, we have everything under one roof, and we are able to provide a turnkey. So at times when we go and present and talk to customers, and probably I only have 2-3 guys, with me, and I do presentation. We will answer all the technical questions. But when we work incumbent telco, they don't have the in-house expertise. It ends up that they will have to work with a lot of different partners. They outsource. So when they go for some presentation, you will see that they normally will carry with that big team. Maybe sometimes 10 people sitting there, of a different company, different product and solutions. So end of the day, we win because actually customers feel that more comfortable, and technically, I think we sound more convincing by providing them a good solutions. Okay, but of course, you're right. Price is always a factor. And of course, when we deal with actually a company that happen to wear two hats, a dual role, and at times, you like it or not, they have the upper hand, in the pricing. Yeah, hey, come on, you subscribe from the same company, okay, and yet you're competing with them, and then definitely in some way or that I think we have a disadvantage, of that. But I've been telling my customers, I say, look here. One of definitely the good thing actually, the only thing that that you if you subscribe to Mykris, that you can get is you can talk to the CEO, and you're not happy, you can always complain to the CEO. You try Telecom and see, can you talk to the CEO or not?
Yeah, I understand. So I think that's where you can get more recurring and long-term business, because one is the value add. Yes, it's a commodity product, but you add on with your own thing to make it a solution. You're not selling a commodity, you're selling a solution. Number two is a relationship. Like if I'm critical product and it's important need, when something goes wrong, I don't want to send an email, wait someone to reply me 2 days later, then call customer service 2 hours. I want, call someone, solve it right now, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that's where your special advantage is there, and your experience also. So I have one question, actually a few questions. See, all right, everybody stay at home, work from home, all this, right? And since you're providing enterprise software, enterprise internet services, naturally, as seen in your report as well, some of your client, you mentioned that they have been forced to downgrade their service, their contract value, or even terminate some of their services. How do you see this impact? Will it be a long term, or do you think the volume has been recovering lately?
Okay. Now, the one good thing actually is our revenue spread actually is quite diversified, you know. And if you recall, I said one of the key industry that we are servicing is hospitality and tourism. And unfortunately, during MCO, during this pandemic, they are one of the industry really worstly hit, you know, by this pandemic. And yes, I think, you know, a lot of people notice, and you can read from the news that some 5-star hotels, they have to close down, or even they have to scale down. In some, even have to temporarily shut down until the situation improve. When they have more travelers, only they open up. Okay, and even if we are servicing some airlines, you know, even the airlines come to us and say, sorry, and really it's a tough time for them. Now, save for hospitality and tourism, which include the airline. If you ask me, hey, what about other industries? Are they very much affected or not? Then I can tell you, some they are minorly affected, not so much. But because of the new normal, today you no longer do face-to-face meeting. You do this actually video conferencing. You do to actually access everything online. And in fact, we also see some actually increase of the demand. Talking about the bandwidth, talking about connectivity, like the glove manufacturer, you'd be surprised, you know, over the last 6 months during the MCO period. In fact, they are expanding and they are getting more service from us. Okay, we have customers of actually so lucky that they are in the right industry during this point of time, so they have more demand. And of course, we also have another few industry actually, you know, got hit by this pandemic, and that's why you see that actually their revenue actually come down. Okay, so it balances out. I think overall, we that's why you see that actually we see that actually, you know, during this pandemic or MCA period, like it or not, there's some minor kind of impact to our revenue. But nevertheless, I think moving forward, you know, with the availability of the vaccine, we see that the recovery stage is coming. Okay.
Yeah. So when the recovery stage is come,
Mykris, can you let me to improvise for a while? When the MCO first implemented in Malaysia, and the company announced the result for the first 6 months from 1st April until 30th September 2020, is the worst, the first time MCO implemented in Malaysia. The company is quite concerned that the revenue dropped like 40-50%, but the answer came out at the worst 6 months during the MCO. The revenue for last year is about 44. The worst 6 months is still maintained about 21 million. It means that where there's a diminishing of the services from those hotel, airline, and this travel agency, but they are increasing demand from other non-hospitality and tourism business. Therefore, net, the revenue remain, the profit margin remains 60%, the after-tax margin slightly increased to about 24% compared with the past. Is this scenario is only exclusive to the Mykris? We also take a look of what happened in other good comparison called Time.com. For the full year of 2019, Time.com revenue is about 1.1 billion. For the first 6 months in 2020, January until June, the revenue from Time.com is about 600. The main reason is, despite affected a little bit by tourism-related industry, the demand for the data is equally strong across the board. That shows that it's a general market trend. You miss one thing, you gain something at the same time. Okay, Mintek, hand over back to you.
Yeah. So correct. That's why I think you know, Mykris business performance is quite not bad because it's diversified. Now, the point that I wanted to make just now is, do you see as a whole group overall, when the recovery happened, there should be some, I don't know whether it's okay for you to comment this, there should be some growth year on year, because those that expanded, they are not likely to suddenly diminish back one, like the glove, they expanded, they won't gonna, you know, close back one. So
Okay.
the, you know, now it's offset, but when the tourism and hospitality recover, so overall, you know, there should be growth. Do you agree with this statement?
Yeah. Now, of course, once we go, we enter into the recovery station. And frankly speaking, we are in the ecosystem. When one industry got hit, in fact, the ripple effect actually, it will carry on and propagate, and even it will affect other industry as well. Of course, I think in this small time we are talking about maybe a lot of SMI, SME, they are affected. But like it or not, we are in the one big ecosystem. So, like then as I said, when we come to recovery, yes, we are optimistic that actually, that there will be a growth, okay? But nevertheless, I think, that you look at it, still very much, that we have to also look at, the whole economy outlook. And also, let's not forget, because I'm servicing a lot of enterprise, So if really the world economy is not doing good, then you like it or not, they will be affected as well. Now, the impact is this. A lot of companies will go on cost saving. And they will come to us and say that, hey, I think we would like you to help us to cut down some costs here and there. I think this is the part that that we have been experiencing during the MCO. And once if they are recovering, and I would say that that they will go back to their original level of the demand, then yes, we will continue to be able to maybe able to capture more projects, or even be able to close more customers deals, things like that. So I remain optimistic if I say if the worldwide the vaccine available and the sentiment actually get really better. We see that the demand actually is going to go back to the level before the MCO.
That's very good to know.
Mr. Chiu, you want to share with them about the Indie University. In the past, internet provided to the student is more like a complementary service for them. But today, with the e-learning becomes so important, it becomes a core service for them to continue to sell their business, to sell their services to their students. Nobody go to campus anymore. So probably you want to explain the live cases from Indie University where they have multiple campuses.
Of course, actually, as I said, from the very beginning, generally speaking, across all the industries, those actually, that happen to have where you have a face-to-face, whether especially so in the education line. Today, imagine that, if the students are not allowed, to go back to campus and you have a classroom kind of actually learning anymore, the only means actually that they can depend on is all internet learning, is e-learning. But of course, e-learning, sometimes you look at it, and let me share with you, because some of the customers come back to us during the MCO. Oh, suddenly, imagine last time actually, that the e-learning maybe only cater for small group of the students, maybe you're talking about 20, 30. Suddenly, right now, today, you're talking about the whole campus, you have to go on e-learning. Hey, the last time you only subscribe 100 meg, cater for maybe 100. Today, you thought a few hundreds coming in together. Imagine how you're going to cope with that. But fortunately, we have something called on-demand service, where we help them to burst up, the bandwidth that they require for them to conduct the e-learning, okay, the e-classroom, whatever you call it. So this kind of actually, the on-demand service actually is one of the value add we throw to all our corporate clients. So whoever they subscribe to us, as long as we deliver the wireless connectivity to them, we are able to provide them on-demand service. And the second thing is, of course, actually, we help them to consolidate, as I mentioned before, all the bandwidth together. Because sometimes the distribution of the load is not even. No point that you subscribe all the fixed line with the fixed bandwidth, with the fixed cost you pay every month. Then knowing that the load actually is not even from time to time. So what we help them to do, as I said, we consolidate, put in the pool. We see whichever campus that need more, we pump more to that side. If you don't need, actually, we take it back and we share with others. Okay. So this is one of the more classic example that I can share with you as how our services has been able to help them to pull through during this MCO period and really allow them actually to move smoothly into this kind of actually environment.
I see. That's a very good flexible solution. So
please allow me to say a few words. what Mr. Chu want to share with everyone is like this. When the physical shop, physical campus, physical airline, physical hotel facing short of the customer and the business slow down. But all the businessmen are very dynamic. They start find way and mean. How are they able to continue sell their product, their services to their end client? The demand for the e-commerce, e-trading, whether you're double 11, double 12, you need a very high damage, high internet traffic in order to conclude all the same. The same thing also, whether you're doing the tutorial, you're doing the learning, or you're doing some teaching, all these things, the demand come out from the other end in order to fill out the vacuum missing for the physical shop. The economy is something like whatever imbalance happen in one location, the other location will create a demand to take out the excess capacity provided by the Mykris. That somehow why the company have continued able to deliver a consistent of revenue, despite this year is the worst of the recession, not only in Malaysia. This is the year of abnormal years for the whole world recession. Mintek, back to you.
Yep. So adding on, one more, just a confirmation, because I look at the past revenue and profit, and as well as the sharing of your business model is more on pay-per-use, and as we move towards digitalization, the usage should be more. So if we don't say competition, if the competitive landscape is the same, do you expect, the revenue and the profit to be recurring nature and should be quite stable and, increasing with the usage of digital services?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, in my Mykris business model, our revenue has been all these years has been on a contractual basis. And of course, you ask actually, how many years of contract? It depends. Actually, it differs from maybe ranges from 2-3 years. Sometimes even up to 5 years. So it's a recurring. And the best part of this is this: once if you subscribe to internet service, and sometimes you want to change service provider, it could be quite troublesome and tedious process. Okay, and that's why unless that you really the service provider is very screwed up in the service, and else a customer, as much as possible, they would not want to switch their connectivity because of the hassles and the trouble that they have to go through. So and because of that, that I think you look at it, even something I share with my customers, even some of the investors before. I say we have quite a number of customers. We got the long-term relationship with us. Some even from the day one until now, 20 years, they are still with me. Okay. So I think really one of the winning formula that we have been able to actually successfully actually deliver is really a very consistent quality service that we are delivering. So to answer the question, yes, where is all recurring services we are talking about, recurring revenue, and likely not unless actually something that really drastic happened, then the customer will always like to continue. Okay, so that's the reason why you see that actually if we are able to maintain the customer, and over the years you will see that actually the revenue actually keep going up. It's different compared to the project base where you have to go project after project. If this year no project, suddenly you will see a dip actually in the revenue. But our case actually has been quite consistent because of the nature of the business model.
Yeah. So that is what I want to confirm, because looking at the profile, the numbers, all looks very attractive. Just that I can only have the visibility of the past 2-3 years. I just want to confirm, that is the nature. Unless for some reason somebody can come in and eat the market share. Because number one, you're diversified. Number two, the industry itself is a need that is keep growing. So I can't think of any reason other than some mysterious disruption come to the market, eat your market share. So to that question, I want to bring up this Kan Hong Ong's question regarding how do you plan to acquire more market share, right, to grow, right, and to compete with strong competitor. As in more to what's your growth plan, right, to expand your market share.
Okay. Now, in fact, Mykris 360 is one of our business strategy to capture and even to expand the market share. Now, today, you see, I think to know that I'm not too sure that whether some of the audiences actually have noticed or not. Mykris, in the past, we have worked with people like Business FM. We have worked with Melody FM before over the radio by sponsoring them, and also with the radio ads, commercial ads, things like that. Okay. Now, of course, during the MCO, we take a step back, and right now we look at what would be the more effective way for us actually to go to the market, and tell them the kind of services that we are offering. Okay, so Mykris 360, in fact, is one of the area, and you look at it, that the second pillar that I mentioned is the cyber security. Now, today in the market, you are talking about if you're talking about a service that from the internet that comes with cyber security, I think that I would claim that actually Mykris probably would be the first one to do so. Okay, and of course, when you look at the bundling of the services, actually, it's not as simple as, hey, I just sell the firewall. When talk about cyber security, I think a lot of times what people immediately come to their mind is a firewall. Oh, I'm going to have a firewall in the network. We are not talking about that alone, okay? We are talking about more actually talking about the really, how do we manage, detect, and respond. We call it MDR, where imagine you have a guided and gated community that is equivalent to what I call a firewall that is set up for the company. But you will not know if there's any abnormal activity within your community or not. So you have the guard that go around doing the patrolling, and suddenly spotted some intruder. Then you raise the alert and all this. In fact, this is the area that where Mykris is doing right now, because you see, since I'm providing the internet connectivity, we are also looking into actually how to protect the customer from the intruder, from the hacker. So that part include actually all this actually firewall services and all things like that. Now, of course, today, like it or not, the branding is something that we are still working very hard on it. And one day we hope that by working with the right media partners, we'll be able to bring Mykris branding to another level, where we are able to attract people to come and make inquiry, about our services. Now, today, in fact, compared to years before, I think we see improvement, and a lot of times actually we receive inquiries through internet from referrals. They're asking about our services and ask us to participate in their RFP, RFQ request for quotation, things like that. So that is the plan that we have by having a integrated bundled service. Then we'll bring the awareness to the market that there's such a company offering bundled services into the network plus the security. At the same time, we are looking into some branding strategy as how we are going to bring our brand name, company name, and also the service, so that actually more people will be aware of us as a whole.
So primarily, it is increasing awareness and also increase the branding. One of the way you have been doing is through digital media. But do you hire salesmen to go out, knock on door?
We have direct sales team as well. But today, I think one progress that we see actually, I think 5 years back, look at it. Basically, the approach we have actually, we have a direct sales team. We have to go and knock on the door. We make cold calls, and try to ask, hey, you have such requirements, and get to know the customer, meet up. But today, I think every month we receive inquiries from the internet, from the referrals, from email, things like that. So then our salesperson right now, actually mainly they are going after all those actually prospects that that making the inquiry and try to look into their requirements, things like that. So definitely we see that actually that of course I don't have a reseller model where I have a big resellers out there, that are going to help me to sell my service, because the service area that we are in is something that's pretty niche. it's not a commodity. Selling commodity, you can have the reseller model. But in Mykris today, mainly I think 100% of our revenue actually being or even the customer being covered by direct sales team.
I see. Okay, so after knowing all this, right, I think for me, at least, when I look at the numbers, business nature, all this, it looks like a very interesting investment. But unfortunately, I don't have thick enough wallet. So when do you expect, your company to be able to move to ACE market
All right.
so that we can buy
Okay.
like average? Yeah.
I think I remember that not too long ago I read about this article from the Age, okay, and they mentioned, of course, I also in communication actually with Busan Malaysia to ask them, hey, you know what, we have been in lead for 2 years, and one of the reasons a lot of people ask me this question, say, Chu, looking at a number, you're all qualified to go into ACE. Why didn't you all go straight into the ACE? Right, valid questions. Well, I told them actually one of the reasons why we consider LEAP, it was because at that time, Busan Malaysia actually announced that there will be a transfer plan available for LEAP company that will allow for qualified counters or companies, they will be able to apply and transfer to ACE. And that time, if I'm not mistaken, that framework supposed to be released last year, but there is a delay. So today we look at it, we continue to follow up with them, and we also read the news, and the coverage from the Age. Then we also make known to understand that that they will probably have some announcement to make by early next year. Then of course, if you ask me, among the LEAP companies, I think Mykris will be one of the very few that in a very ready position. And once they announce, we will go. Okay, I think we can't wait to leap, from leap to ACE already.
Okay, and I also can't wait to see your share on the ACE market. So I have 2 more questions before I let Yap Sing share a little bit about your company's valuation comparison. One of it is I see that your company is giving, because Mykris is having very good cash flow, so that's why you are giving a lot of dividend, 40-50%. And I just want to completely understand your business model. How come you can give so high dividend, and with the rest of the money, where do you invest it? Is it invested in a capex? And that's question number 1. How do you sustain such high dividend, and do you foresee the dividend payout ratio to be as high? Number 2 is, when you grow, do you need to invest a lot of money into like infrastructure or capex, or does it really not require too much money for you to grow on?
Okay,
It's
good question.
really, yeah.
All right. Now, I think the one slides that actually I show and I explain that that we are one of the very few that build and operate our own wireless network. Okay. Then people will be wondering that, then hey, you build your own wireless network, then you have to spend a lot, right? Your capex will be very high, right? Not really. The reason is very simple. We are not like those mobile operator where before you can deliver the service, you have to set up a lot of base stations everywhere, at this shop lot, you see the roof there, they have this base station coverage a bit here and there, and they have to really make sure that they link up, they have all this network set up before they start offering service. In our case, it's different. We do it in something called a modular format. That means I only need to have a very basic and minimum setup. When my business grow, I will expand the network. Okay? Or when the business grow, I will upgrade my network. Else, I don't need to do anything. Okay? That means to say that, you look at it, of course, that also, because of the wireless technology that we are using, is not a licensed spectrum. The licensed spectrum is like all this 4G, 5G, where you have to tender with the MCMC, and so that you get the spectrum, then only you can deploy. But in our case, because it's a totally different technology, relatively speaking, the equipment cost is so much lower compared to the mobile operator. And as such that actually when you talk about capex, I don't need a lot. Then of course, actually the one good thing actually when I deliver, the service via my own wireless network, the cost we are able to control. But we have another segment of the business also depending and leasing the fiber from the incumbent telco, where we have a recurring monthly cost. Okay, so in that part, frankly speaking, the margin will not be as good as I do it on the wireless, which is my own infra. So when I promote the hybrid model, I have the wireless and I have the wired. It somehow balances out a bit. And also because of the fiber, it allows us actually to expand our network to the nationwide. Now, our own wireless network, I can only deploy if I have the physical setup. Like for instance, currently we are having the wireless network in 3 main cities only. That is in KL, Klang Valley, in Penang, and in Johor. And the rest of the cities, sorry, I don't have coverage. If I want to deliver service, the only way that I can deliver is to lease the fiber from incumbent telcos. So in that aspect, if you ask me, am I able to maintain a high dividend yield and that kind of profit margin or not? Now, of course, as this is the challenge that we are facing. When our margin being squeezed because I have a higher recurring cost, when I go after the nationwide bigger project scale, we are also doing, or we've been embarking on actually, is talking about the transformation within our operation team. Okay, we have done also some level of digital transformation within our own organization, how to automate some process and how to make our staff more efficient and effective in handling their operation tasks, things like that. So it's a balancing game. And the one thing that we will not sacrifice is to deliver quality service. No matter what it takes, we will not compromise on the quality.
I see. So, can I summarize in a very short way? Correct me if I, understand wrongly. This capex is not like the, big problem for you, or is a headache, or you need to keep invest heavy capex. It's more on, the team, the service you provide, how you manage people, rather than, how many infrastructure you have. Am I correct like that?
Yes, exactly.
We like that. Investors like
Right.
that, Yeah, because it doesn't not heavy capex, don't have to keep plowing back cash. That's why I can give high dividend. Okay. So I guess that's the question that I asked. So far, I really like this company. So guys, if you want the slide from Mykris, based on the presentation just now, you can join my Telegram channel. I will share the slide there later at t.me/saving. Okay. You can go and join this channel at this link. Later, I'll upload the slide there, and you can have a read on the company, right? Yap Singh, maybe you can share some of your thoughts.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Now we almost come to the end of today's sharing section. When you take a look of this Mykris, star number 1, it is a very profitable company with high gross profit margin about 60%, net profit margin about 20%. It looks easy, it looks simple, but never that simple for any competitor to simply duplicate the model. Some of the people ask this question. Second, during the good economic growth year, the company able to grow the revenue and the profit. At the same time, the company pay a very high dividend with a less capex involved. With this kind of good feature, in the event, if the company successfully transfer from the lead market to ACE market, what will be the comparable valuation it will be? Today, the market price of Mykris is 60 cents, multiple by 300 million share is about 180 million ringgit market capitalization, divided by the average profit generated by the company about 10 million, the PE ratio about 18 times. 18 times PE ratio is set very high for a new IPO probably, but this is already a secondary market listed company. When you go to the Malaysian stock exchange, on the main market, probably there's one or company have almost similar nature, but not exactly the same. Mykris is a tailor-made solution provider, provide the service mainly B2B, majority B2B. They don't service a 30 million population. But there is one company, the name called Time.com. Besides they service the B2B market, they service the majority 30 million population in Malaysia. Whenever they have a fiber optic network, they call Time.com B2C business. Similarly, high GP margin, high net profit margin, they pay a dividend 40 to 50%, gross 60%, net about 20%, despite the recession time. When you take a look at the valuation of the Time.com, today the market capitalization is talking about 8.3 billion. The average profit generated by the company about 300 to 330 million. The PE ratios, we are talking about 27 to 28 times. A big giant trading about 27, 28 times. A smaller Mykris with almost the same business model, same similarity in those characteristics. What do you think about valuation? I think that number will crystallize the moment they move and easily accessible by all investors. The valuation gap could be closed out very fast. We are not here to give you a guide that this is the stock that you must buy or you must sell. We are here to give you a more room of imagination. When you know how big is a Time.com, then you will know how small is a Mykris. The gap is there. Give you the chance to make something which belong to you since you joined today video conference. Mintek, hand over back to you.
Okay, thank you. So I guess the management execution is quite crucial in this business, right, Mr. Chew? As in, somebody saying a new competitor can just come in, but I think the experience, the reputation especially that you have built up over the year, that will be one of your stronger competitive advantage. Can I say so?
Yes, definitely is true.
Yeah. So with that, I think we got a very good picture of what Mykris is all about. Thank you, Mr. Chew, for educating me on your business. It's really eye-opening. Truthfully, when I look at your business, if it's a it's a public listed company, but if it's listed on ASA, I think it will be quite a hot stock. It will be quite a hot stock, right? So thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope you learned a lot. Once again, if you want to get the slide, you can come to my channel at t.me/saving. With this, I would like to conclude the end of today's Bursa Secret Show episode. Thank you, Yap Seng, for inviting Mr. Chew on. And thank you, Mr. Chew, for being so patient to explain in detail and clarity about your business.
My pleasure.
Have a good evening, everyone.
All right,
Bye-bye.
good night to everyone.